Hi, this is Ron Nutter with another edition of TechBytes with Ron Nutter product reviews. Today we're looking at the Kassdin Gigabit Ethernet Splitter, and this is, they call it a one of two. It's one port back into your main network and it splits it out to two ports, and this will be at or should be very close to gigabit speeds, assuming your cabling is all in order. And three things you need to know about it. If you get value from this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. I'd really appreciate it. Need to give you a little bit of history to understand what this really means. When I first saw Ethernet splitting devices, of course, this predates the gig speed. It's when 100 meg was your top speed. You had to have matching devices on each end. Now, this is a passive deal, and what it did is it took 100 meg Ethernet, really only used 4 wires technically. And when I say technically, it would work with just 4. You might have some other issues, but it would work. So what the passive splitters would do is they split the 8 wires into 2 different setups. One 4-wire set would be one side, one 4-wire set would be for the other side. So you still use the same amount of ports on the switch and at the other end. But that's, you know, and those kind of things were great when they worked, but it was kind of hit and miss, and some people could make their own. So that's thing number one, and that's really that's where this comes into play. This one only needs one device, I'll call it the smart device, at the end of the cable away from where the switch is. So wherever the PC is, or the PC in the phone, or what have you. So that's where you need to place it. Now, thing number 2, this does get you an additional Ethernet connection without having to run more cabling, but it's a yeah, but situation. Yes, you get it, but anything that is heavy on bandwidth, and streaming, I think, is one of those ones that fits into that ball game. There's more in the manual on this one. You're going to have some drops. So that's something that just to keep in mind. If you really got to have full bore on both cable runs, you're going to have to do a completely additional run separate from the first one. This is the trade-off for having that. And for most people, that's an acceptable trade-off. Thing number 3, the status lights on each port will help you identify the device that's active. And if you're not used to looking at those ports, what that means is the light on the left is usually the link light. The light on the right will flash accordingly as to when packets are going through either in or out of that port. So you can tell which one is the active device or most active by looking at the light on the right, and at least gives you an idea of how things are going on. If you start having signal drops or communications problems, unplug the device that you're not trying to work through and see if the problem goes away. If it does, you know, that kind of tells you you're going to have to go run a second connection. But that may not be the case. That's just kind of a FYI while you're involved in it. So take a look at this device and think about getting one today. It's going to be very handy. It's definitely a little bit easier to implement than the old passive solution. If you get value from this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. I'd really appreciate that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.